episode of the crossover post All-Star game discussion. We're going to break it down. Co-host here, Brian, and of course, your co-host, Ravi. Ravi, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Good, man. So we watched the All-Star game at your place. And, a great time as always. Put on a nice spread and everything, must say. Tell the folks, Ravi's handled his business. So it was quite nice. Today's discussion is going to be about the All-Star game, obviously. Your thoughts on it, your takeaways from it. I'll throw in my 2 cents. Then we'll move into kind of like what we see coming up in the second half of the season. So let's start with the ASG in NYC at MSG. So what do you think, man? How you found the whole weekend?
I enjoyed the weekend. I still have to. I haven't seen the full dunk contest yet, so I still gotta. I've seen highlights. Yeah. But I mean, everything I've read, everything I've speaking to you guys, it's all been good reviews. Mm-hmm. I had a chance to look at the skills challenge. I had a chance to look at the that Legends 3-on-3 thing that they do. Right. Which I think is like the first event that they do on a Saturday night. Right. And I mean, even the halftime show I think wasn't too bad at all. So I mean, all in all, I thought it was a pretty good weekend, pretty good game. I mean, the game itself, your boy went off. I think you called it. You're the first guy to, I'll give it up there because you called that from about like a week out.
Yeah, I did.
And he came out gunning. He came out gunning, boy, on fire, Westbrook. Yeah. So Westbrook put on a show. I like the fact at the end, the coaches and the guys knew he was kind of close to the record. Mm-hmm. And they call a foul here and there, trying to hopefully he can get it. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Chris Paul, for screwing that up.
Exactly.
But LeBron had some good plays there as well too. He was looking aggressive. Yeah. I think overall there were points in the game where it was a little too much. I don't want to say run and gun, but it was a little too much reckless, sloppy play. Yeah. I mean, and I know it's the All-Star game. I know we're not looking for set plays out of a timeout or things like that. But I would have liked to seen a little more structure on the offensive end because guys were just jacking threes from like half court and just all over the place. So, I mean, aside from that, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I would say, just jumping off what you said, I overall... the All-Star game, I mean, I didn't find it the most entertaining game compared to some other years. I think, as you said before, the structure or lack thereof, as you said, we know that's the case. But usually in the fourth quarter, you expect to see guys start locking in a little bit more, and it starts looking like a semblance of a regular game to some extent.
That's right.
I mean, I think we were talking and watching, and we realized it's like, wait, there's like 5 minutes left in the game, and it looked no different than the first 5 minutes of the game. Guys are still tossing up alley-oops all over the place. And stuff like that. As you said before, Chris Paul, they're running ISO plays for himself, with 2 minutes left to go, with Westbrook about 4 or 5 points away from the record. Like, okay. He missed him on a fast break, I think, and then he got back to him the next one. He blew that one, too. I think he gave it to Dirk that time.
I think that there were about two or three fast breaks in a row where he didn't go to him, and I mean, that should have been the obvious play.
Yeah, I mean, the court awareness on Paul was a little... I know he's still salty about Game 5 last year, but whatever. That's on you, CP3. That's on you.
Hey, it's more the same.
Exactly.
It's more the same this year, CP.
For real. I'll jump over to the, going back a little bit to Saturday night. The dunk-off, I did watch it. I think it was, overall it was entertaining, but there was some hit and miss. I do like the fact they went back to the old school rules. Like, there's the 3 dunks or whatever. It makes a much cleaner, presentation. The judges were pretty fair, and even Doc was a tad bit charitable on Saturday night. It was, even though Doc was killing me though. I mean, he kept he was the last guy that put his card up, so it was like this little. And he's messing around, folks. He's picking the card up. He wasn't sure.
Hey, I mean, you guys know I've been saying it for years. I really think Dr. J thinks he's a real doctor. No, I've been saying that for years.
No, this was actually kind of funny. He was messing and playing with the crowd a little bit, but not overt with it. So it was a kind of a little running little thing going. I actually did. I found it quite funny. A little inside baseball there, but overall, the dunk off itself, I thought had some things they need to figure out as far as the who they pick. That's what it always comes down to. I mean, like Mason Plumlee, like what they really like. They need someone that is like a doctor, like a dunk expert, a dunkologist, and just go in there and say like, okay, what are the components that make great dunk champions in the past?
Exactly.
Okay, one, they gotta have hops. Two, they gotta have a guy that has charisma, which is probably one of the biggest things. And three, creativity when it's all said and done. Find guys that have that combination. And four in this case here, guys that want to be there. You know what I mean? Like that's part of it too. Like you don't want to be there. People can tell you don't want to be there.
And I think the Plumlee thing, I think that's like they were just looking for a hometown guy to kind of throw in there.
But who cares?
I agree with you.
Who cares? Was there a Nick represented anywhere in the thing? No.
Well, I think it was one of those things where the league was. I don't know if they were pushing him on the back end or they were just really looking for someone. But
it is Brooklyn in the house. Everyone says in this case here is the Mecca of basketball. Then they could care less. They could SpongeBob out there dunking. They could care less then.
Hey, I saw some of the D-League guys putting on a show over the weekend, and those guys, I saw a couple of those guys could have easily been in the contest.
Well, first thing, we've had some D-League guys, in this case, with a dunk off, in this case, in the past, and when the bright lights come on, guys start shriveling up real quick, so it's easy when you're doing it on a Thursday or Friday when there's like 6 people, your family members, in the crowd. When it's like 80 million people or 100 million worldwide watching you all over the internet. And tweeting about you, and all the legends in the crowd, all the other all-stars, they come back to me. And you got like Nicki Minaj in the crowd watching it, then get back to me and see how you perform that. It's all easy then.
Very true, very true.
I'll just say this last point, 3-point competition, one of the most entertaining ones I've ever seen. Guys were shooting it, it was a thing of beauty, man. No doubt.
Now here's a quick dunk contest historical question for you. Best dunker to never win the contest.
Best dunker.
Who do you think?
I finally was talking to someone at work about this today. That year D Brown won. Sean Kemp had some fantastic dunks.
That's the guy I'm looking at.
When he had the one caught back in this case here, can't see it here. I'm not sure. He caught
from the free throw line.
Yeah, the free throw line.
The free throw line.
That was crazy, man. So I think.
I think Sean Kemp Sean Kemp was in the contest at least 2 or 3 years, and was runner up quite a few times. I think he had a perfect combination of power and grace.
Exactly.
And he had that creativity with it too. So
Vince is the all-time best. I mean, that hands down.
Vince is the all-time best, hands down. But in terms of a guy that's never didn't get his just due, shout out to the Rain Man tonight.
Rain Man, no doubt. Wherever he may be with how many other kids hanging out there, shout out to him.
He might have had 2 more by the time we finish this podcast.
Oh, shots fired by Ravi. Anyhow, man, I think at that point, we'll wrap it up there. And hey, man, Bosch finally got the 3-peat. So, hey, that's good to know. As we move. So, part 2, man, we're going to get into the unofficial second half of the season, what we expect to see happen. So, let's start here at the bottom of, starting from the bottom, as Drizzy said, man. We're going to start with the Knickerbockers, the New York Knickerbockers. Fire sale is right now on the front lawn of MSG. We heard that Stoudemire now has come to the, I don't have my Dallas hat on, but has headed to the Mavericks. Once he clears waivers, which I'm not sure if he has or not. I assume he will be.
Maverick fans, hide your fire extinguishers.
Wow. Throw the shade early, huh? Hey, right now we need any warm body we can get right on that bench. Okay? I mean, we got Charlie Beathorpe playing heavy minutes and heavy rotation. That's not a good look, okay? Let's just leave it at that. But let's start with the East overall. And so for now teams are starting to make moves. Folks are trying to dump salary, dump players to try to get close enough to get into the draft lottery or a better position in the lottery. How do you see the East going, moving forward with the teams left? Who do you think is going to make it in the bottom of the Eastern playoffs, and who do you think is positioned to kind of make a run at the top? I
think looking at the standings right now, I think the top 8, like the 8 teams that are in the playoffs, I think that's the 8 teams that are going to be there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Brooklyn has I think Brooklyn is the 9th seed right now.
Right.
I don't think they're going to bypass Miami. I'm looking at Miami and Charlotte. They may flip flop back and forth between the 7 and 8 spot. I'm kind of hoping. I think Toronto's at number 2 right now, and there might be some. Obviously look for Cleveland. Cleveland's the 5th seed right now, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Cleveland go all the way up to the 3rd spot. So that would be interesting to look at. But I really don't think there's going to be too much movement in terms of the teams that are outside the bubble right now in the East getting in there for the remainder of the season. I think the 8 teams that are there are the 8 teams that will represent the East in the playoffs. But you may have some of those within that those 8 teams. You'll probably see a little bit of movement here and there. And again, the 7-8 spot, the 4-5 there with, again, I think Cleveland could easily move up to the 4th or the 3rd. So look for that.
Yeah, I think when it's all said and done, here's my take on it. When it's all said, I think East-wise, how far is Detroit out? I try to remember off the top of my head because I think the Pistons still got a shot at this thing.
Detroit is 21-33, and they are the 11th seed.
Yeah, it's a little far away.
Yeah. They're a bit away.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I was thinking Detroit might make a run, but the injuries and stuff, I don't know. So you're probably right. That's probably.
I think if Detroit was healthy, with a
Detroit
healthy Jennings,
they
would have definitely made a run.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have counted them out at all. Yeah. But I think the injury to Jennings is a little too much overcome.
Yeah, sorry for we Piston fans that won't happen. But I'm pretty sure I said before 7-8 Miami, Charlotte. They're starting to play. Charlotte's starting to play a little bit better. I'm going to say something right now. I don't think, I listen to these guys on ESPN and stuff like all these hoops guys. They're just making the assumption Cleveland's going to get this 2 seed or which one, Chicago and Cleveland get the 2 seed. I'm going to say so right now. I don't think any of them catching Toronto.
I agree with you.
I think right now Atlanta, Toronto are going to have the 1-2 seeds. Maybe call it homerism or the case with me. I'm just watching how I see these teams playing. Toronto's schedule going down the stretch is not going to be that bad. They're going to have some more games on the road, but I think they're pretty much almost evened up at this point. They have one more little stretch that might be a bit of a touch stretch where they got to go through the Texas Triangle, which is going to be a tough stretch. But after they get past that, really? What's left, really, man? There's going to be a lot of bottom feeders in the East they're going to have to deal with, man. They got more games against Boston and more games against the Knicks. They got Philly a couple more times. Really?
I totally agree with you there. I don't think the 1-2 seed is going to be changing that much. No. I think I think they did what they need to do early.
Yeah.
And it's going to pay off down the stretch.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. I think the other thing is going to be a surprise that people might be shocked is Chicago's not going to get a home court advantage. I'll tell you that right now. They're going to be the 5 seed when it's all said and done.
Yeah, right now, yeah. Well, that's what I said. Cleveland's 5 right now, and I would not be surprised for them to move up to 3.
Yeah.
It's always a health issue with Chicago.
Yeah. I'm always in the position with Chicago is what have you done for me? Why would I give you this much respect? Really, what have you done? Anyways, that's how I see it. Let's move to the West, man, quickly. Where to go? First, let's get to the issue. Is Oklahoma City making the playoffs?
Well, that's the thing. I think in the West, I'm not even looking at the top. I'm looking at the bottom.
I'm saying yes.
And you're saying yes?
Yes, because you know why? As long as those 2 guys are playing at least about 80% of those games, they're due to have a 12-game winning streak at some point. That's just the math and science of it. That's it.
I would be. They're on a 3-game win streak right now. Yeah. I would be shocked. I would be personally shocked if I see them go on a 12-game win streak at this point of the season. I wouldn't count them out. I definitely would not count them out of the race. But I'm really pulling for Phoenix right now. Just to see some new blood in there. And I know it's the playoffs. We want to see Durant. We want to see Westbrook in there.
Really, tell me about it. You're sitting there on May Day, a nice warm May Day, first round playoffs.
Hey,
you want to see Golden State Phoenix, or you want to see Golden State Thunder?
I understand it from our ratings, our matchup, our fan perspective. I totally get it. I totally get it. It's all about the matchups and the storylines behind it. But I think last year, I think Phoenix just missed the playoffs last year, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And the young guys there, I think those guys have been putting in a lot of work this season. I've watched a handful of Phoenix games this year, and I really like to see those guys make the playoffs. And
do you want to give them a cookie too?
I will give them a cookie.
Some milk with that.
Hey.
Get out of here.
Finest
Phoenix. Get out of here. You and all your Phoenix buddies there, Hornacek, Dan Thunder Marley, Eddie Johnson, who was it? Tom Chambers, you gotta be a reunion somewhere in Scottsdale. Paul Westfall, get out of here with that crap. Phoenix, people want to come see Phoenix.
I'd like to see Phoenix
get in there. On Phoenix's team, let alone want to see Phoenix play. Get the heck out of here.
I want to see the young guys rewarded.
Reward my foot. I never knew this was like a charity event when it comes to the NBA. Heck with that.
Hey man, we've seen OKC stink it up in the playoffs for the last few years, and I don't think it's going to be anything new. I don't think it's going to be anything new.
Whoa!
And, what's his name?
Hold on, stink it up? Are you kidding me?
They've shown they cannot get the job done, Brian.
No, that's different. Stink it up.
And the thing is, we had this conversation on Sunday while watching the game,
right?
It's all fun and games in the regular season. A lot of guys put up numbers. A lot of guys do a lot of things in the regular season. But when when it comes down to money time, there's certain guys on that team that we've seen that I don't want to say wilt under the bright lights, but he's not the same guy as he is in the regular season. Whereas your boy Westbrook, he steps up. He accepts the challenge.
All I'm saying is that it's not like Oklahoma City's getting knocked in the first round when they get in the playoffs. They have deep runs. That's all I'm saying. They haven't had that one.
But here's a question for you. Here's a question for if they get the 8th spot, do you think they're going to upset Golden State?
I think they can upset Golden State. Yeah.
Do you think they? Yeah.
I don't have to say that with a question because I still go with the philosophy for more times than not. True, we didn't work in the finals last year with a lot of other reasons why that wasn't the case. But almost 90% of the time, the team with the better player, if they're all things equal, usually ends up winning the series, okay? And they would have the 2 best players in the series. That's a problem. That's a problem.
But can the 2 best players overcome the system that's been working all season?
More
and
times
running efficiently all season. And I agree with you. I mean, the NBA, I think more so than any other sports league, you have the best player, you have the best chance to win.
More times than not, Oklahoma City does overwhelm, in this case, the team with the better system. Okay? That's just a fact. I mean, they dealt with the Spurs a few years ago. Heck, they dealt with the Spurs if they're healthy last year, possibly. They deal with Memphis, who's all, half-court geniuses in this case. They're throwing the post by foot. They got dealt with. It's all said and done. Clippers, all their efficiency stats, they got dealt with too.
I think you and I are on the same page with the Clippers.
Right. So you can say what you want. It don't look pretty, but they say here, you two the 5 best players in the league. Do your thing. And usually in this case, Westbrook pretty much eats up every other point guard in the league. Even Parker says boy, he's a handful I don't want to deal with, guys. so little Steph Curry's going to be coming there and dealing with Westbrook, coming at her for 40 minutes. Yeah, you see how good your jump shot is by game 4.
I told you. You're so disrespectul, Brian. You're sitting here. I told you these guys are bringing light skin back this year, Brian.
I don't care. Bring light skin, dark skin, polka dot skin. When it comes down to Showtime, Furious Styles is not playing. Yeah, he ain't playing with nobody. That's all I'm saying. So as far as the West goes, I say it here, folks. Don't be surprised if Golden State has an early exit. That's all I'm saying. We're going to see if the boy genius on the sidelines can get them through, but don't be surprised that when it's all said and done, they're out in the second round, and people are saying, what happened? That's all I'm saying. Because they got a first round against the Spurs, they got a first round against the Thunder. And I like both those teams over them in those series.
Well, let's say for argument's sake, the Thunder gets the 8th spot. Now, if you're looking at the bottom 3 teams, that would be OKC, San Antonio at 7, and then the Clippers at 6. So it's
Golden State's begging for the Clippers. that's my point. Golden State saying Lord, please, Blake, stay home. They're begging for the Clippers to drop the 8.
Well, they might because Blake is out though, right?
That's right. Yeah,
you never know. Blake is out right now, so
there
could be some slippage.
You as the newfound Suns fan, they're begging for them to get in. But let me tell you, they want no part of the Spurs. They want no part of the Thunder.
Let the record show. Let the record show, Brian. I am not a Suns fan, but I appreciate the work that those guys are putting in Phoenix.
Well, don't worry about it. I have their girl guy cookie sitting beside me over here. Like, get out of here with that crap. Anyways, man, it's going to be a fun second half. We got about, 20 games left to go in the season or so. Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be great, man. So let's we'll call it there for today. Can't wait. We're gonna be coming furious here for the next few weeks, man. And where can the good folks find you, Ravi?
At Mr. Ravi_Porvita.
And you can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short form RM. All right, folks. Take care. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace. See you next week.